AD, you are a wizard. What a trade deadline so far, man. Who would have thought that the Washington Wizards were the team to not only buy on Trae Young, but on Anthony Davis as well? Today, the Dallas Mavericks traded Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. Now, honestly, this is just an AD almost salary dump. Like, all the other players, similar to the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, are kind of just filler to make it all work. Chris Middleton might get bought out. AJ Johnson feels like he's still a rookie in terms of what he's done in the NBA. Malachi Branham also hasn't really done much. Marvin Bagley has a very interesting career. The 2 first-round picks is the 2026 Thunder first-round pick, which is literally going to be the 30th pick in the draft. And then the Warriors first-round pick in 2030, a protected Warriors 2030 pick, which, it may be good. I can't expect. Who knows what's going to happen to the Warriors? By then, Curry's going to be 40 years old. But it is a protected pick, so, And then 3 second-round picks. So for the Mavericks, this is really just like, hey, we're done with Anthony Davis. We're done with this whole saga. That was Nico. The man who shall not be named, Nico Harrison. It was him who made the trade, not us, not the new front office. And we don't want to, have AD around, which, you know what, fair. The amount of money that he's going to want in his next contract with his health is very interesting. Just a quick note on the Mavericks. This is the official return for Luka Doncic, Max Christie, Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, an OKC 26 first-round pick, a Lakers 2029 first-round pick, and a Warriors 2030 first-round pick protected, and 3 future second-round picks. Not that great of a package. That's all I have to say about it. We've talked about this to death. What I really want to talk about, though, is the Wizards. The Wizards, out of nowhere, from top shelf, just decided, you know what, we're done being a bad team. We're going to trade for Trae Young and AD. We're going to have 2 somewhat injury-riddled players looking for massive contracts who are on massive contracts right now. Both of them, they're both making $46 million for Trae Young and $54 million for Anthony Davis. A ridiculous amount of money for both of them. And then everybody else on their team is on a rookie scale contract. This is the ages of the players on the team. Anthony Davis is 32, Trae Young is 27, Alex Sarr is 20, Trey Johnson is 19, Bilal Coulibaly is 21, Jaden Hardy is 23, D'Lo is 29, but I don't expect him to play there. Bub Carrington is 20, Cam Whitmore is 21, Will Riley is 19, Keyshawn George is 22, Justin Champagnie 24, and then Dante Exum, Anthony Gale. I don't know. Their core is an average age. That's an average age of almost like 20 and a half, bro. They have 2 19-year-olds. They have like 2 20-year-olds, 3 21-year-olds, and then you got Trae Young, 27 years old, and Anthony Davis is 32 years old. This is a very interesting way to construct your team. Obviously, the Wizards have been rebuilding in this rebuilding era for a bit now. And I like some of the pieces. Trey Johnson is a great shooter as a rookie. Keyshawn George is an interesting player. Alex Sarr has really had a much better season defensively and offensively. Buying Trae Young makes sense. You want an established point guard. None of these guys on the roster is really a true point guard. So that makes sense. And then I guess buying AD is just like, hey, we're in the Eastern Conference. We're bad, but we need some type of structure for our young guys. Let's go get Anthony Davis and Trae Young. I'm very interested to see how this team will look next season, because I'm telling you right now, these guys are not going to play together this season. I would be surprised if there is even one game this season where Trae Young, Anthony Davis play together. Just injury-wise, it doesn't make sense. Like, AD was almost going to have a surgery to be out the rest of the season. Trae Young has been in Washington for, 3 weeks now, it feels like, and he's just been, recovering from his injury. I don't expect him to play this season. Next season, however, it's going to be interesting. I kind of like the strategy from the Wizards. Like you've been in the draft. You're gonna still be in the draft. You're gonna have probably a top 5 pick this year. You have all these young guys. Your average age is literally like 20 and a half, 21 years old. It's a very young core. And they're all on, like I said, rookie scale contracts. So they are an incredibly cheap group of players. Let's get some injured guys who have really low value. We can trade away some first round picks that aren't our own. We can trade away a Thunder pick, a 2030 Warriors pick. Like, this doesn't really mean anything to us, the Washington Wizards. And we can get, a potential man like Trae Young and AD, who obviously have had great years in the past and are currently very low valued by the entire league pretty much, because the Washington Wizards are the ones that picked them up. And they're like, hey, we can bring some type of structure to our young guys. And, it's very interesting. They're not a team that's ever going to be a destination to go sign a free agency. They've been in the draft. So they got to make a trade. And they're taking 2 swings on guys that they have yet to commit any long-term money to. That's the important thing as well. If this goes really sideways, they can kind of just let these guys walk and be like, hey, that didn't work, but we still got all our important young guys. It's really no harm, no foul. So I think this is a great trade, both the Trae Young and AD trade for the Wizards, because they're just like, hey, we've been rebuilding. We haven't been in the playoffs since, 2017 with John Wall and Bradley Beal. Like, let's be a somewhat competent playing team, potential 7 sneaking into the top 6, in the East. Anything is possible in the Eastern Conference. And then for the Mavericks, man, like I said, you heard the package for what they got for Luka. It is what it is at this point. So I'm gonna give this trade for the Wizards, honestly, like a B+ to an A-. Like, why not? And you haven't set yourself up like this team. You haven't guaranteed anybody any money in the long term. So if things really go bad, that hasn't happened yet. And for the Mavericks, it is what it is, like I said. Another very interesting trade that happened today, the Philadelphia 76ers trading Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 2026 Rockets first-round pick and 3 second-round picks. Oh my god. Who let OKC do this, man? They just got themselves a very talented young guard in Jared McCain, who had a great 20 games in his rookie year last year, where he was like, wow, this guy could be rookie of the year. He had a pretty bad injury. This year, he's averaging like 6 points. He's had a lot of pretty slow games. He had one really good game recently. He was in the G League. And with this combo of him, VJ Edgecombe, Maxey, Quentin Grimes, like, that's a lot of young guards to play around. I'm interested, like, I don't think it was a great idea for them to sell this low on McCain already. Like, selling on McCain, potentially now you're going to keep Quentin Grimes. I feel like McCain is going to be better than Grimes. But they did get a first round pick for it. They don't have their own first round pick this year. It's something. But man, OKC, this demon team who has quite a lot of fake shooting, a lot of players that in the playoffs, teams, just because of how good Shea is, you're going to have a lot of teams like Denver, like the Rockets, whoever, the Spurs, Cason Wallace, shoot that 3, buddy. Lou Dort, keep shooting them, bro. Alex Caruso, keep shooting them. They don't have J-Dub. So it's a lot of pressure on these guys who, for the past month or so, went pretty cold from the 3-point line, and their 3-point shooting really dipped in this kind of stretch where they lost some games after only losing 1 game in the first 25 games, whatever. Jared McCain is, if there's one thing he can do at the NBA level, he can shoot the 3 at a very good volume. In his career, this season hasn't been the best. He's like a 38% 3-point shooter on 6 attempts. That's very decent. He has a really good on-ball scoring potential compared to all the other guys that I mentioned. That's why I think AJ Mitchell has been so important for this OKC team, not only because of J-Dub being out for a lot of this year and they needed somebody else to handle the ball. Well, actually, no, that's exactly why. J-Dub has been out. They needed somebody else other than Shea to handle the ball and create offense for himself and others. And AJ Mitchell has been that. I'm not saying that Jared McCain is this otherworldly creator, but he definitely has more juice off the bounce than a Cason Wallace or a Lou Dort or an Alex Caruso. I'm not picking on these guys, but it's just true. Defensively, they're great, but offensively, they can be a little bit one-dimensional. And, if they're not hitting the three, which in the last month, you really saw that they weren't hitting the three as much, why not use one of your thousands of picks? OKC still has so many picks. They have the Clippers pick and the 76ers pick for this year. So they're like, hey, why not we trade the Rockets pick for this year and some second round picks for a guy that, we believe in, still has, so much potential because he's still so young. Obviously, he's had a very kind of rocky start to his career with all this injury stuff. Why not take a flyer on him? And I think this is just amazing for OKC. For the 76ers, I think it's a bit shaky to sell so low on Jared McCain so quickly. And then another small, big trade. The Bulls trading Coby White, Mike Conley Jr. to the Charlotte Hornets for Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dieng, and 3 second-round picks. Man, the Hornets have been on fire. They have been just one of the best offenses in the past month. They had one of the best months in their franchise history, it feels like. They are about to maybe get their first 8-game win streak since ever, or definitely since early 2000. They've never had an 8-game win streak, which is ridiculous. They've had a great January. Their offense has just been humming. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Con Knipple. Colin Sexton, I think, was a good ad for them. He's been a bit up and down. I view Coby White and Colin Sexton as almost the same type of player archetype. The smaller shooting guard, combo guard type guy who can hit the three really well and play make a little bit here and there, but he's not your main playmaker. Coby White, it's an interesting trade for the Bulls. I mean, they have so many guards. They still have so many guards, but I like it for the Hornets. And then there was some other small trades like the Chris Paul being traded to the Raptors and then getting waived. Very interesting trade deadline so far. But yeah, what do you guys think about all these trades? What do you think about AD, Trae Young? Is it scary hours in Washington? Did you guys know that Anthony Davis played 29 total games with the Mavericks and Luka Doncic has 29 games this season with 30 points? Yeah. Nico Harrison, you have a special place in hell.